You're listening to the Writer's Block podcast with L.A. Wade. You look
Yeah.
beautiful in pink.
Oh,
You really rock colors. That's the one
thank you.
thing. You
Oh
really
my gosh.
rock color. But I have a problem thinking which one is my favorite for you because I saw a red that you did. I believe. Were you doing the Beyonce? There was a Beyonce song in the background. I think. You
Oh,
have the cowboy hat or something. Anyway, it was
okay.
beautiful.
That was a red hat with a black trench coat. Yes, and it was Beyonce. I love using Beyonce songs because
She
she
just
is such
tells
a
our
mood.
stories with her music.
Oh, love it, love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was like a street style kind of thing that I wanted to do,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I actually enjoyed doing that one. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you put that all together, but it always looks flawless. You always are well. Where did this love of styling come from? I just That's not even one of my
Oh,
questions, but it just occurred to me that you were like style icon.
oh my gosh, thank you. Oh wow, that's a lot. Thank you. And it means a lot coming from you.
Oh.
My mom actually used to sew a lot of our clothes
Mm.
to go to church. So she used to make me those beautiful little dresses with bows and so on and so forth.
Oh.
So I always had an appreciation for clothes and
Mm.
jewelry. And, especially when I used to watch old movies and silver screens, and I would see those beautiful starlets with gowns and the decor and those Hollywood stars, right? So
Yes.
I got my love of the arts and acting and fashion from watching those classic movies,
Oh yeah, they're
right?
great. Oh man. Do you have a favorite?
Ooh,
It is hard to
oh,
get.
Breakfast at
I
Tiffany's.
know.
I
I
mean,
can.
it's such a classic, but the elegance and simple elegance that she had,
She
right?
really, yeah, she tore that up, and she was so petite and dainty, but she rocked it. I would love to see you do a throw to that in a photo shoot. You would kill that. You
You
would
know what?
kill
I
that.
could.
You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
because
call it
I haven't
breakfast at
actually.
Dorley's. No, breakfast with Dorley.
I haven't I haven't done like an updo in a while.
Yeah.
Actually, I did for CAFA last year
Okay.
for the award show. Um, but also Grace Kelly.
Oh,
My
she's a
goodness,
classic.
the epitome of elegance.
Yeah.
Um, I remember when I was young, I used to watch old movies that she was in, black and white.
Hmm.
And at the time when I watched those movies, they were actually in French.
Oh
So
wow.
I wouldn't even know what the title is in English. So, but the movies, from the 1940s and 1950s, the style, the pencil skirts, the gowns, the cinched waist,
So good.
and just the beauty of that era. It always speaks to me.
I love
So
that.
yeah, but Grace Kelly, wow, epitome of flawlessness and beauty and
Yeah,
grace.
and Grace. Yes, I think of Grace
Yes,
when I think of her. And I think of it
yes.
when I see you as well. You're always well put together and you carry yourself so well. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're
I
so
really appreciate that.
welcome.
Thank
You're so
you.
welcome. So this platform actually is about trying to normalize vulnerability. It's
Mm,
about trying to expand empathy and compassion for ourselves and for others. And to be honest, it's like we write scripts in our lives and we don't realize how much we can get blocked in both life and in our creative process.
yeah.
So, right. So those are the writing analogies of both life and creativity that I think crosses over when we think about where we get blocked. But in
Mhm.
order to understand our blocks, it's sometimes good to take a little trip down memory lane and figure out, okay, how did I get here? So my first question for you is, who are the main characters of your life that contributed to making you Dorly Jean-Louis?
Ooh, wow. Um, well, I have to start at home.
Of course.
So my father um, gave us a foundation, things to adhere to.
Hmm.
And those lessons. or basically, my father was not a fan of mediocrity. So,
Good for your
so to
father.
put it
Good.
mildly, he expected A's and A pluses. He expected excellence. He expected us to work hard. Um, Now, my brother has a different school of thought because for him, and I love talking about my brother, for him, if at school to pass you needed a C plus, then
Oh,
that's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a C plus. Meanwhile, I'm busting my butt to get that A and that A plus, and
oh my goodness.
but that's one thing that we were taught and brought up with.
Yeah.
Um, so his lessons of excellence and always, and you've heard that as well. You have to be 10 times and work ten
Yes.
times harder
Yes.
to be considered half as good.
Right.
So, and he instilled that in us, right?
Hmm.
And this is a lesson that I have never forgotten. So, and I know throughout my high school education, throughout even university, college, I had a number of teachers and professors and even peers who used to tell me, "Dorly, you're competitive." I'm not competitive. I just work hard.
You strive for
No,
excellence.
right? They're like, no, you're competitive. I had one professor in university who said, Dorley, when I give the class an assignment, you take it and you run with it to the point where no one else can touch it after you. And I'm like, what?
That's
But
good.
but it was from home. It was the
Yes.
teachings that I received from my father. It wasn't because I was competing with everybody else. It's because I wanted to come home with that A plus. Look, I got
Look,
it.
Dad,
I
I
did
did it. I
it.
did it. Yeah.
Right? I got
Yeah.
that A plus. And I guess too, I wanted to make him proud, and
Okay.
I wanted to also, make myself proud, right?
Hmm.
That I could accomplish something that was hard, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's where those lessons, came from. Um, but
Other
yeah,
main characters is like, you mentioned your mom. Are you closer to your dad than you are your mom?
I think I started out being closer to my father, because there was a lot of similarities in the way we think.
Yes.
And later on, I became closer to my mom.
Ah,
My mom was harder on me than she
of
was on my
course.
brother,
Because she knows
right?
what it's like to be a woman.
Right, yes. And even though my brother's older, I mean, I think, she was tougher on me,
Ah,
right? As a
yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think I was closer to my father at the beginning, and then I became closer to my mom later on in life. And
Yeah.
here's why. And
Oh,
here's why. We were watching TV one day, quietly, my mother and I,
yeah.
wasn't saying anything. And she said to me, Dorley, do you remember when you were taking those swimming lessons when you were in kindergarten or grade school, whatever it was,
Right.
maybe grade one or two? And I said, yeah, I remember that. And she said, you were the worst in the pool.
What? I was waiting for like the
But,
moment of like real praise.
right? You were the worst in the pool. And she said to me, by the time you had your third and fourth lesson, you became the best
Oh,
out
okay.
of the entire group. And I said to myself, you never said anything. You
Right.
never mentioned it. And by then, I was what, 17 or 18 years old when she
Oh,
told me
wow.
this. So
Right.
even the validation and that, would have been great to have
Yes.
heard when I was a child,
Yes.
trying my best to keep up and learn and, do the butterfly and whatever else that we did in the pool. And um, it would
But
have been great.
in a way, it feels like she gave you this gift of resilience with maybe not trying to, but
Yeah.
it came from you. It didn't come from her helping necessarily.
Yes.
When you help
Yes.
the butterfly out of the cocoon, they get weaker in a sense.
Yeah,
So
that's it. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what yeah, because the parents were in a corner watching all of us, and we were all in the pool doing our thing. So yeah, but I remember thinking, wow, mom, you bringing this up now after all of these years,
wow.
and I had no clue that she was paying attention and that she was watching, and
Mm,
and that, you know, I was actually good,
yeah.
right?
You went
Right?
from the worst to the best, which requires so much from you, but then also it didn't, I guess it helped you not rely on praise from your parents, where so many people
Okay.
chase it.
That is huge. You said something that defines me to a T.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do not ever expect any validation from anybody. I
That is
do my
great.
thing. I carry myself a certain way. I work hard. I'm in it, but I never expect to hear praise from other
Yes.
people because I've grown up without it.
Right.
I've grown up doing without. I've grown up even never hearing it. To be honest with you,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Not that people don't. They
No,
do
for
tell
sure.
me once in a while, but I don't expect it.
Right. Because you give
Right?
so much of it to yourself. And
That's it.
that is a massive block for a lot of people, is that they want that external validation. But the way that you were raised, you learned how to develop that within yourself. And that's huge,
Yes.
huge, especially in
Yes.
your industry. My goodness.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Preparation, calculation, precision, execute. That's
Yes, I
it.
love it. There's
Yes.
a system here.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
I
That's it.
love that.
Exactly.
Okay. How did your early experiences in the fashion world shape your approach to acting and storytelling?
Ooh, never underestimate the power of presentation.
So,
So, yes. So, in terms of acting, I got to look the part
yeah.
if I want to be believable in that role. So, for example, if I'm playing or auditioning for a lawyer, which I did recently, if I'm auditioning for the role of a lawyer,
Hmm.
I best put on a blazer, a jacket, a nice button down shirt, whether I want to wear pants or pencil skirt,
Right.
but I got to look the part,
Hmm.
right? I wouldn't wear, a Hawaiian shirt. I wouldn't wear, you know what I mean? Like it's got to
Yes.
make sense.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind, and I utilize that in my craft always. Keep it
Mhm.
simple, obviously. Jewelry I usually keep to a minimum because of the noise,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Earrings dangling and so on and so forth. You want to keep jewelry to a minimum, but I always make sure that I look the part first
And
and
you do it
foremost.
well.
I try. Trust me, mom. I try. Yeah, at least do that. Look the part.
Hmm.
So that's how I incorporate, fashion into my work.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you balance the demands of being a fashion icon and a versatile actress? Because, and I say this because, to your
How do
point, you have to.
sorry. How do I?
Oh, how do you balance the demands of being a fashion icon with being a versatile actress? Because, and why I say that is because as a director, I remember having this really beautiful girl on something that I was casting for, and she didn't want to make herself look ugly. And I remember, and she came from the modeling world. So she wasn't used to, playing herself down. And I remember thinking, man, if you could just get out of your own way, this is not who you are. This is who the character is.
And that's exactly it. You have to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Um, Looking the part, and if it means toning down the makeup, wearing your hair a different style than you normally would.
Yeah.
You have to look at the character and how could you best represent the character, right?
Hmm.
And we all have our limitations, to be honest with you. And it's unfortunate that she did not want to do that for the
Yeah.
role. But I always tell myself, and it's very important, you have to tell yourself, what are you willing to do to get to where you want to be?
Yeah, that's
Right.
powerful.
And it's so small, but you're an actor.
Yes,
Act, be the
exactly.
part, play the part, be ready, do your research, uh, and look the part, know your lines. Like all of that encapsulates, you know, being an actor, right? So for myself, I even had that discussion actually not too long ago with my agent, and
Right.
she goes, "Dorly, you put a lot of work into your self tapes. Now I want you to strip some of that down a little bit."
Oh, really? Why?
Yes.
What was their
Um,
reason?
one thing, okay, very simple. Three different scenes that I had to prepare,
Hmm.
and each of these scenes are different days
Okay.
and different places where this actor is.
Right.
And my agent said, keep it simple. I don't need you to change for all three scenes.
I
Just,
see.
yes, just
Yeah.
stay in that one outfit and don't over direct yourself.
Hmm.
Leave hair and makeup and the scenery and all of that to the crew.
Right.
Don't overproduce.
Right.
And I took that to heart. And I did make certain adjustments,
Right.
and it's actually working now.
Well, that's amazing because I know it's a visual medium. You can't help
Yeah.
but, and you're visual. You understand what it looks like
Yeah.
optically to be what you're to do what you're doing. So that must be a struggle to like pull back on what you
Yes.
understand is visually appealing
That's
and
it.
yeah, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. And you're
Interesting.
overly producing
Yeah.
this self tape,
Oh
and you
man.
don't need to do that.
Well, I'm glad it's working for you because I know that you've recently, I mean, I don't know when you landed that role of Halora
Oh,
Sinclair, the
Halora
editor.
Sinclair.
I
Yes.
saw you
Yes.
post that the other day and I was like, I never really, because if I don't go on IG, I don't see what people are doing. So when I
Yes.
happened to open it and you were the first one that popped up, I was cheering and celebrating because I was like,
Mm.
I don't think I ever really get a chance to see the work that you do.
Yeah.
That
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
sometimes we're not allowed to put it out there too.
there you go. Well, that's the first thing. And doing it in a timely fashion,
Right.
and not posting too much, if you will,
Exactly.
and to
Yeah.
give the whole movie away.
Mhm.
In that particular case, I think they said, as long as you post, up to 30 seconds, you
Then
know,
you're safe.
you're
Yeah, that was
safe.
a good 30 seconds.
Right. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I loved the character because she's most of the characters that I do audition for are women in positions either of power or women, business women,
Right.
uh, either who own their own businesses, who have, like Halora was a editor in chief of a
Yes,
magazine,
that's right.
so that's something that I could relate to because my background is in journalism as well. So
Exactly.
when I was presented with the role to audition for it, I was like,
I'm
oh,
so here
editor
for
in
this.
chief of a magazine? What? Yes, love
Yeah,
it.
you
So,
killed
so
it.
thank you, thank you. I
Yeah,
really
you
appreciate
killed it.
that. I do have another project coming out, and same thing, businesswoman. And
Because that's
again,
the
in due
vibe you give
time.
off. You give
Sorry.
off that vibe. You give off that vibe of like strong, confident person. So it
Thank
makes
you.
sense that you would be cast in those roles for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also to the fact that I have, journalism background as well does help
Right.
for
Absolutely.
those roles. So that is one thing that I never take for granted is education, because
Mhm.
you can incorporate it in your
Absolutely.
acting world, right? In your acting life.
Yes.
So yeah. So I
No
can
skill
always,
left behind.
there you go. That's it. That's it. Everything you've learned in life, whether it's business, whether it's finance, you can bring that into your portfolio and
Yeah.
either work with it, build on it,
Leverage
and
it.
that's it.
Everything. Yeah.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
mean, I think your parents are really inside of you. You seem aligned with the way that they are. I don't say that about a lot of people. Even when people say that they're close to their parents, I feel like you truly internalize the gifts that they gave you as a child.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
oh gosh.
and
I do.
I'm
I
so
do.
glad.
And I think because I'm, the product of two individuals who came from Haiti and,
Hmm.
decided to immigrate to Canada. And we landed in Montreal just like most Haitians did.
Yes,
And I'm gonna tell you, it was not an easy life.
I don't.
Um,
Yes, I
you
don't think
know,
it would be.
it was not an easy life, and we struggled. We struggled with the winter. But mind you, as kids, we had more fun than my parents because we grew up on skates. They did not,
Okay,
right?
yeah, of
So
course.
the snow, the cold, we didn't feel it as much as they did,
Yeah, the kids don't
right?
feel it. The kids don't feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, their lessons and the stories that they instilled in us, and my experience too,
Hmm.
all of that never take for granted. When I was a child, certainly there were certain things that I didn't like, and I would, and just not appreciate. But
Yeah,
now, as I grow older, and all of that have made me who I am,
of
the
course.
woman that I am today.
Yes.
So,
Speaking of the
um,
woman you are today, what challenges have you faced as a Black woman in the fashion and entertainment industries? How have you navigated like in alignment with your true vision of how you see yourself?
oof, I could write a book on that. Let me tell you,
It's hard,
there,
right?
you know what? There's a lot of elements, and there's so many different parts that we
Mhm.
can, um,
Dissect. Yeah,
talk about. In both fields, in acting and in fashion. One thing I tell myself is I can only control what I can control, and I leave the rest. For example, I'm very well aware that nepotism is
mm,
something that exists in both fields.
it sure
I
does.
cannot change that. I cannot fight it. I mean, I could be, gossiping and crying about it, and what would that do? I
Nothing.
could complain about it. Who's going to listen?
It's going to bring
So
down your vibrational energy.
that's it. I leave that out. I concentrate on what I bring to the table. I
Mhm.
concentrate on my gifts. I concentrate on my talent. I concentrate of how can I improve. I concentrate of looking at areas in my career, things that I can change and do
Right,
better.
right,
Right. Um, Walt Disney came up with the four C's, and along the way, a lot of leaders have added their own spin to it. Right.
right,
So, as a creative, curiosity, confidence, courage, consistency. Those are the four C's that you should always, always remember to embrace. You got to
yeah,
be curious. Well, what's new in the industry? AI.
yes,
AI is the big thing now. So you can fight it, you can try and work against it, but you also can find a way that it helps you with your
right.
self tapes, with your auditions.
That's so
Um,
true.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
a
Not
lot
too
of
long
people
ago, right?
resist.
Not too long ago, we had flip phones, right? It was basically text or call. That was it. Now that we have these smartphones, you've got all these apps, social media, Instagram, Facebook. How can I use that to market myself?
Right,
They're virtually, well, to start off, those apps are free to begin with, right?
right.
So use them as a tool to showcase your talent, showcase your gifts, showcase what you can do as an actor, collaborate with others,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yes.
And some people actually use Instagram now as their business card, a
Oh, yeah,
visual
all the
business card,
time. Yep,
right?
it's true. It's
So
true.
yeah, so I'm using it more and more in that manner instead of just taking a pretty selfie,
Yeah.
right?
There's so
Right?
much. It's so boring. Like, do something. Be more creative.
Yes,
If you're creative, show it.
that's it. That's it. And market yourself, in such a
Yeah.
way. So, um, you know, I I also, for example, this is um in the fall, I made the decision to fire my agent.
you know what's so weird? I was going to ask you the question, can an agent be a block to your progress? And here you are saying you needed to fire your agent.
Okay.
Okay,
You
let's
and I are
talk
on the
about
same
it. I know
page.
we're really we're in sync for sure. That's
So,
I literally just had that thought.
right?
Okay.
Because in the last couple of years, I noticed that I was
Yep.
stuck right
Yep.
here.
Mhm.
And no matter what I did, it just,
Right.
it turned out that the previous agent that I had, just to give you an example, ever so often I would update my demo with
Right.
new work
Mhm.
and new projects that I completed.
For sure.
And when he would receive the tape, thanks, Dorly, filed. Thanks,
File.
Dorly, great job. Uh, Never any feedback,
Oh,
never
man.
any, okay, Dorly, I know that, you just gave me this, but let's talk about it for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be your agent giving you the professional advice and then working to push you out there.
No.
Oh,
So it
man.
ended up that for the last 2 years of this kind of interaction,
Yes.
um, my gut feeling and my instinct told me, Dorley, it's time to go.
Yeah.
You've got to leave. And I made the decision after I got a new agent
Mhm.
who has been on fire to get me out and to get me seen. And who
Amazing.
has, oh my gosh, she believes in me. She is such a go-getter.
Love
And
that.
that, and her energy and passion is there. And it's something that I was missing with the
Yeah.
previous agent. I was
Mhm.
just a number.
Right.
And in this business, too, what can also work against you is if your agent has too many
Yes.
Black women in the
Mm,
same age category auditioning for the same thing, you're just
right.
competing with people right in your agency.
Exactly.
And that's what was happening, and I wasn't aware of it. It's my new agent who said, Dorley, why don't you check his roster? And when I did, my jaw dropped.
Oh my
So for,
goodness.
so for the whole time that he was representing me for 4 years, I didn't know that the roster was filled with
Yeah.
other Black women. We can all audition for the same mom role, lawyer, businesswoman, all of us,
Yeah.
all 8 of us.
Oh my gosh. So your chances
Right.
are much lower and that's happening.
There you go. There you go.
Wow.
So I fired my agent, and I always listen to my gut feeling because it never fails me. And it's the same thing too, not just professionally as well, but how um, I see or feel certain people are towards me
Right.
never fails me. That is
Oh,
something 100% my instinct is always dead on. So
yes.
I'm the type of person I will get rid of a frenemy because of that.
Oh, for sure.
No love
You don't have
lost.
time for that.
You don't. So professionally, that is something that has always helped me. And I'm in a good place now. And I'm happy that my new agent and I found each other. And it's that energy that she carries that, and oh my gosh, it's so amazing to have someone in your corner that wants to see you win.
I was just
So,
talking about that with my partner.
right? So
It's
between,
huge.
yes, my brother and my agent, both of those people believe in me. They want to see me win. They're supporting me. And it still goes with sometimes it just takes one person. And
Mhm.
it's so true. It just takes one person. Because if you have an entourage of 90 people and
Right.
all they're there for is your money, right? Or what you have to bring, right?
Yes.
Um, they're not doing you any favor whatsoever. Right.
Right.
That's why, having a smaller circle is much more beneficial to you than having, 50
It's
people
true.
around you
It's
who
so true.
pretend to care, who pretend to be friends, who pretend to have your best interest at heart.
Yeah. They
Right?
reveal themselves all the time. I've learned through listening that you will get all of the information that you need.
There you go. Or watch, listen and
Yeah, and
watch.
watch.
Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play a little game called Would You Rather.
Ah,
So, would you
okay.
rather style a magazine cover or star in a major film?
Okay. Star in a major film
Right?
because I'm gonna land on that cover. Ah,
Okay, fair enough. Fair
how's
enough.
that?
Okay,
Right?
fair enough. Would you choose to work with a fashion designer or a director who inspires you the most? That's tough. But I think you do your own fashion design inspiration.
There you go. So I think I would work with the director.
Yeah,
Yes, I
I
would
think
work
that's
with that
great.
director. Yes, because a lot more work can come from that relationship, right? From that
Exactly.
project. Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I love how
Yeah.
you're always thinking of the next thing. It's just so
Yes.
that's
Oh my
so
God. Huh, you
inspiring.
have to. Oh,
Trust me,
you
I
have
see
to,
that.
right?
Yep. Or
Yeah.
else you can get stuck and you don't want to get stuck.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Would you rather take a risk on a new fashion trend or a bold acting role?
Bold acting role.
I was going to say, what would be a bold acting role for you?
Hmm. Mm. For me, would be to play the complete opposite of what you see and know of me.
Yeah. That, I mean, that's
Yes.
the real challenge. And to be,
Yes.
and make it believable. Because then you have
Yes.
to go somewhere within yourself to believe that you are this other person in order to bring it
That's
forward.
it.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Yes.
That would be an adventure.
For example, Charlize
They're
Theron.
on, yeah, in Monster.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. That. Oh, I first of all, I love the movie.
Yeah.
Second of all, her transformation. She had to put on weight.
Hmm.
Um, her demeanor, her attitude, even the way she walked.
It was
And,
crazy.
ooh, beautifully done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean about having the
Absolutely.
opportunity to play a role completely different than what you know me to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
That, oh my
That would be
goodness.
really interesting.
Ooh,
Would
yeah.
you rather have a fashion line named after you or a film role that defines your career? Huh, that's tough actually when I think about
Wow. A fashion line would be amazing or a film role.
that defines your career. So like that fashion line that is Dorly and everybody wants to be that Dorly, that's kind of like that
Mm.
breakfast at Tiffany's person
Hmm.
or a
Well, I
film
have
role.
to answer it this way. I think I would go for the role that defines me.
Really?
Yeah. And the
Okay.
reason for that is because, oh, you probably don't know this. I did own my own boutique at one time
Okay.
on Queen Street. I did.
No way.
Yeah. And I operated it for 3 years. And it was called Dorly Designs.
No way.
Yes, I did.
You've done everything. You really are a
Well,
go-getter. No, it's good. It's
um,
so good.
yeah. So I did have my own line of jewelry, and clothing. So
Mhm.
I had a taste of that already.
Right.
And I kind of put it to bed, if you will. I mean, the boutique doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
Um, but I had a taste of that.
Right.
So that's why I'm willing to let it
Put it
go.
down. So I wonder
Yeah.
when you did that, obviously it took a huge risk to do that. When it was time to move on to the next, which we often have to do, are goodbyes hard for you when you've created so much time and energy in building something and then saying, I gotta leave this where I started it?
Yes,
Yeah, talk to
it,
me
it
about
was.
that.
And here's why. It was hard because I started something from scratch.
Right.
It used to be an old convenience store. So you can imagine the cleanup and,
Oh
putting
man.
shelving and chandelier and redoing the floor. And it it looked literally like a little Chanel boutique by the time I
Oh
was done
wow.
with it,
I bet.
right? By the
Yes.
time I was done with it. Um, and even my logo, actually, the double D's inverted, Dorley Designs, um, looked like Dolce Gabbana.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and I actually, I created the logo just by playing with the letters.
Yeah, we can
So
do great things when we try.
right. So the reason why it was hard was because it was 2012 recession hit really hard,
Mm.
and at the same time, my mother was very sick.
Oh, no.
Yes, and I remember, um, whew, girl, you're gonna get me crying.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. This
No,
is
we're
the
not.
point. This is a safe place for you to
Whew.
do it, you know?
That's okay. I can talk through tears now. I wasn't able to do it before.
Oh,
But the reason why I decided to close the boutique is because my mother passed away.
I'm so sorry.
So on the one end, I closed something that was really that meant a lot to me.
Right.
And, you know, my mom dying was double whammy, if you can imagine.
I can't even imagine. That's a
Yes.
heavy space for you to hold.
Yes. So the two was happening at the same time. But the blessing in that was I was okay with it. It
Mm.
was sad. It was painful,
Yes.
but it was closure
Yeah.
because my mother saw me do something that she herself could only dream of.
Oh, I love that.
And I had her blessing, and um, she loved what I had accomplished.
Yes, and she got to be there with it.
That's it. And I even remember her telling my brother once, look what your sister did.
Aw.
Look what she accomplished.
Yeah.
You know?
She's still here pushing you along with all of the
Ooh.
adventures that you were on.
Oh my
It's
gosh. Oh yeah.
beautiful. It's
Sometimes I talk to her. I have a picture of her here. Sometimes I talk to her. And yeah, always with me.
yeah,
Always with me. Always with me. So you know, being in the creative arts, being in the creative field,
yeah.
is a tough go. It
Mm,
really is.
it is.
But there are successes that will come. There's going to be challenges
Yeah.
every day. There's a challenge happening somewhere. Um, but I know I'm up for it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I know I'm up for it. My mindset um, is not what it used to be 5 years ago, right? So, for
Mhm.
example, I was so touched when you sent me the email to do
Oh,
this interview. And listen, this is the first podcast interview that I've ever done. The
what?
first, and I hope it's the first of many.
Oh, well, it's definitely going to
Right?
be now.
Right? I hope it's the first of many. But also too, originally, I looked at your email and I said, Dorly 8 years ago would have said, I'm just a small fish.
Oh
I can't
no.
do that interview. What do I possibly have to say?
Oh my
Right?
goodness. Wow.
Um, and as soon as I saw your email, I said, we're going to do it. Yes. And this
Yes.
is the thing. When someone asks you, say yes, even though you're scared.
Yes.
Do it even though you're scared. Do it even though you're not prepared. Do it even though it's challenging, it's hard, because that's the only way you're going to grow, right?
Exactly.
Especially if I want to, do more public speaking. How can I
Right.
do it if I'm completely mum and I never speak to anybody, right? So
Exactly.
so this is a great exercise, right? Like I said, I can talk through my tears now. I probably wouldn't have been able to do, any of that,
I'm
right?
so proud of you. I'm so glad that you said yes because you're saying
Thank
yes to
you.
you. You're saying yes to you as well.
Yes,
And
that's
that's
it.
the part. And so
That's
many people say no to themselves. And it just that further blocks them from what they actually
that's
want.
it.
So
That's
you,
it.
you're
Exactly.
the way that you
Exactly.
pursue who you want to be and what you want from the world is such a gift. And I and not to bring back up your parents, but it's very clear to me that there has been a trajectory in your life that was very intentional in how they have worked with you and molded you, whether they
Yes.
were doing it explicitly or just through modeling, or you
Hmm.
respected your parents enough to take in the advice that they were giving you. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't want to do that, but you have been successful in doing that and implementing the lessons and the wisdom of your family. And that is beautiful.
And
I wish more people
yeah.
could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, it wasn't always easy as a child because my parents were strict to begin
Right.
with, but they had to be because this was a new city, a new country for them, right?
Right. Right.
And they wanted to instill in us certain responsibilities and certain, you know, ways of thinking and being and acting and how we carry ourselves, right?
Right.
So all of those lessons I've always taken with me, even though yes, as a child you think, you know, like I have the strict, you know, this is so strict and why, and you know the other kids get to do this and they get to do that. Well, you're not Canadian. Right?
Is that what
So
they say?
right,
Oh
yeah.
man. Right.
So, yeah, it's something that I obviously I cherish, and yeah, it's made me the woman that I am today.
Yeah, I love it. I love to see your evolution. I met you. I think we were at the film screening of Origin.
Yes, yeah, Ava DuVernay's origin. Yeah,
Right.
that's where I
I
met
think
you.
that's where I
Exactly.
first met you, and I
Yeah.
thought, who is this like style bodacious, like she's just so much energy, and like I said, the color draws people in, like it makes it easier to want to be close to you,
Oh,
and the
thank you.
smile and the graciousness and the way you carry yourself. And I thought, I know a lot of people in the city. I don't know why I don't know Dorly Jean-Louis.
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
know why I don't know this person, but I want to know this person, and
Well,
so I'm glad.
that's great because in the last couple of years, um, you know, I'm making more of a point to get out there in terms of
Yeah.
networking
Yes.
and meeting other creatives and collaborating and um, meeting you that day was so cool because look at us now, right?
Exactly. It's
Right.
so good.
So I'm happy that we got to meet, and that's why I said, you know, when I got your email, my first instinct was yes, I'm going to do
Yes.
this
I'm
podcast,
so
right?
happy. Yes, I'm so glad. Okay, let me not, monopolize all your time. I'm going to ask you seven more questions. These
Ooh,
are rapid fire questions.
okay.
So, how do you define success in your journey?
Hmm. How do I define success?
Hmm.
Um, accomplishing what I set my mind to do.
And
So
doing it.
yes, so small steps, right? It doesn't have to be huge, major undertakings. Like I mentioned to you earlier, this is my first podcast interview, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
yay me, right?
Yes,
To other
exactly.
people, it may not be impressive at all. But now that, you know, I'm sitting with you and I'm sharing this space with you and doing this interview, you know, I'm so glad that Dorly today was able to say yes, because Dorly 5 years, 8 years ago would have said, no,
Oh
I'm a
man,
nobody, right? That's what I
you
would,
are
my
a
mindset has
somebody.
changed,
Yes,
right? Yes,
yes,
mindset has
definitely.
changed. So, and it comes with the confidence too of knowing who I am as a woman, as a person, and what I bring to the table, and all of that.
Yep, that.
So yeah,
Yeah, the identity piece is huge, and that's what I see from
yes.
the time you started and talked about your journey. That's the theme that I'm hearing, is that this woman knows herself, like
Oh my
she
God.
really knows herself, and
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. I
that's
appreciate
a
that.
beautiful thing. How do you celebrate your wins? Do you take the time to celebrate Dorley?
Not as much as I would want to,
Yeah.
but I'm becoming better at it. Um, I think I'm so quick now to um, continue and carrying on, and thinking about the next step. And
Right.
sometimes it's true, you have to take that moment to embrace,
Yes.
right, the space and the time in your accomplishments. I'm learning to do that. I'm not perfect yet. I'm learning.
Mhm.
By the way, even my birthday is not something that I normally celebrate.
No way.
No.
Girl.
uh, and yeah, and last year was the first time that I actually asked a girlfriend of mine. We went out and we celebrated my birthday, and then a whole bunch of group of people came and we all celebrated together. But it's not even something that I do on a yearly basis.
Oh my
Sometimes I
goodness.
just skip right over it.
What? When's
That's
your
why.
birthday?
I know.
We got to
I
get people
know.
sending you birthday wishes. When is your birthday?
December 7th.
Oh, that's a wonderful time to have a birthday.
Right?
Oh,
December 7th.
and I love
So
that number. I love
yes, right?
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
me too.
great.
My favorite number is 7. So
Yes.
because of that. But I'm getting better at it. I'm not perfect,
Right.
but I'm getting better at celebrating me, right? I'm getting better.
You are. You are getting better because here you are.
Yes.
If you could wear one designer for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is such
What
a
a terrible
cruel
thing to say.
question. That is such a cruel question. Oh, there's so many good ones. Whew. I can only name one.
Well, just, I mean, you could name many, but if you were going to just wear one, if you had to wear that one at least the longest ever, which one would you have to choose? That is a hard question because different people bring different things.
Well,
But I,
that's it.
but I
That's
thought
it.
that one would be easier for you because while you can do a lot of things for fashion, what I notice is that you do have a classic line that goes through everything that you do. So I don't know which designer that would be, but I definitely would think it would be the one that you could dress up or do different things with.
Oh man. Okay. Um, okay. I'm gonna say Versace.
Okay.
Because in terms of collection, you're talking accessories, dresses, ready
That's
to
true.
wear pieces, shoes. I mean, handbags. I mean, I would like to say Versace.
Yeah.
Um, because the other, excuse me, the other designers that I'm thinking about, it's mostly accessories and handbags that they're known for, not
Right.
necessarily clothing.
Right.
Excuse me. Yeah, I would say Versace, or Chanel.
I thought more so Chanel,
Chanel.
but yeah.
Chanel, yeah. Because there's so much you can do with Chanel and classic, and again, you've got a whole collection
Right.
of purses, handbags, and dresses, and you
Yes.
know, uh, different elements, and so on and so forth. So yeah, okay, we'll go with Chanel.
Okay, let's say Chanel. What's the most memorable advice you've received in your career thus far?
Hmm. I would say don't wait.
That's so. Oh my gosh, I'm going to write that one down. Don't wait.
Yeah. And here's why. We now live, especially today, um, we now live in a world where you got to create your own work.
Right.
It's no longer waiting for someone to notice you
Yes.
and waiting for that big break.
Right.
You create that, you make that happen.
Hmm.
And when I was a kid, you had to wait to be discovered.
Oh no, not anymore.
No, it doesn't work that way anymore. It doesn't. And and I think what has actually brought that to fruition is when you look at those shows, where there's so many contestants, you know,
Mm.
whether it's The Voice, whether it's American Idol.
Yes.
They all have that same component of having just one winner at the end,
Right.
right?
Right.
But in everyday conversation,
Right.
these people had to go and get that,
Yeah.
right? And they're auditioning all of these people from different parts of the world,
Exactly.
you know? Whereas when I was a kid, so and so got discovered just by walking and working out in a park.
Right.
Really?
I know. Where's that happening?
Oh,
Oh
right?
man.
Excuse me. Or you're doing your groceries and you get discovered because you went to the grocery store and so happened to be there at the same time,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Not to say that it doesn't happen, but you have to be careful that you're not just being a passenger watching other people do
Yes.
because you're expecting for it to just come to you.
Right. That's not what's going to happen.
So some things will come to you. For example, someone may email you to collab. Oh, I saw a post on Instagram. Let's collab. That came to you,
Right.
right? But
Yes.
not every big break is going to just come
Yep.
to you,
It's true.
right?
It's
And you
so
never
true.
know. So if you're just sitting and waiting for that to happen, no. So that is one thing I take to heart.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't.
wait.
Yeah.
Create it. Create it.
Mhm.
Do it. Create it. Don't wait.
I like that. I love that actually. Perfect. Okay, two more questions.
Okay.
What do you thirst for professionally and personally?
Um, Professionally, I would love to host my own show. I would love to star in a series, and
Hmm.
be a recurring artist in a
Yes.
series. Would love to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And whether it's animation, whether it's well, for voice, I did have a recurring role in voice, so I can check that.
Yeah.
But as an actor, I would love to have a recurring role,
Yeah.
excuse me, in a TV series. Um, and in terms of personally, hmm, oh my goodness, personally, that one's hard because I rely on myself so much. Um, so, oh,
Yeah.
okay, personally, maybe even financial freedom.
Yeah. Who doesn't
That's
want
it.
that?
Yes,
I
financial
feel for
freedom.
that too.
Yes. Yeah, for me to be able to get up and travel wherever I want to, go when I please, which I can, but
Right.
the financing part of it, just to
Yes.
have
Yeah.
that freedom
Yeah.
and
Well,
not worry.
I see this coming for you. I see all of the roles coming for you. Yeah.
Oh, bless. I'm just, taking this in right now as you
Yeah.
say it. As you
I'm
say it,
telling
I'm taking
you,
it in.
people say
Yes.
that I can see things. I see this for you because
Thank you.
most importantly, not only because I can sense that it's coming, but I get the sense that you deserve it.
Oh my
You work
gosh, thank
hard.
you.
Yeah,
Oh my
you
gosh,
work
you're
hard.
so good. Thank you so much for saying that. And you know what? It's funny because um, I don't always pay attention to who's paying attention. So it's true because
Right.
I'm so driven to just keep going and thinking of the
Exactly.
next thing.
Yes.
So thank you for making that observation and for seeing that. I really appreciate it, and I'm taking it in. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it really goes. Oh, thank you so much. I really
exactly.
appreciate that.
Well,
Yeah.
someday we're going to be, if you don't celebrate yourself, the next big thing that you do, whether it's your birthday or a role or something, we got to celebrate.
Yes. Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So
Yes.
you'll see. We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna post about it because we're gonna remind everyone that this moment was spoken before.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I
You're so
appreciate it.
welcome. The
Thank
very
you.
last question is
Hmm. Okay.
where do you currently feel blocked, and what commitment can you take right now that you will do towards unblocking that situation or person or whatever the area is?
Whew. Um, Where do I feel blocked? Wow, that is such a good question. Um, well, we touched on it a little bit earlier,
Okay.
with me firing my agent, my
Right.
previous agent.
Right.
Um, so with the new agent that I have now, there's work to be done,
Right.
because there were certain things that lacked. And my new agent now sees that there's certain things that she's got to do on her at her end to clean up, if you
Ah,
will. So
yes.
there's still work to be done. But having said that, uh, the amount of work she's already put in, I was able to be seen by a couple of casting directors I had not seen in years,
Wow, that's great. See, it's coming.
just
It's
because she was
coming.
pushing. And,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? And no, she noticed the blind spots, and
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Whereas my previous agent was more pushing buttons,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of being proactive,
Right.
was reactive.
Oh, so this person is engaged. And so, yeah, that would have been a for sure block. And I like that you are moving that block out by
Yes.
also looking at what you need to assert and ask for, looking at where you have to set a boundary, looking
Yeah.
for where you can push, where you can learn. It's a relational thing, and you're good at that. So you're gonna be fine. This
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
step in the right direction.
Yes.
So kudos to you.
I know I'm in good hands. You know, I'm in
Yes.
good hands, and um, it was interesting because when I submitted my demo tape to her, I didn't
Right.
say anything. And she calls me, she goes, Dorly, take this out, put this first, put this second, remove this, it has no production value, do it all and give it back to me. Click. It's like,
That's what you want. That is what you want.
that was
Amazing.
it. That was it. That was it. That's exactly it. And when I, rejigged everything and sent it back to her, I noticed that what I had been submitting, or what my previous agent had been submitting,
Right.
was crap, was crap,
Well, that's what it was. Yeah.
right? So it even though I did have content, but it was not well put together.
Right. It's funny you just said that because one of my mentors, Professor James Small, he always says that all content is intent.
There you go.
And and
Yeah,
so there was no intention behind what they were doing with your content.
that's it. That's it.
You may have
So,
had the intent, but that person was steward over it and they did nothing with it.
oh
So your
my
whole life
goodness.
is about to change.
I,
I
I
can
hope so.
live your new life.
I really hope so. Because I think I'm in the right we're going the right direction, and I'm on the right track, and we've done a lot of cleanup, if you
Yeah.
will, her and I, and I'm glad we found each other,
Yes, me
to
too.
be, to be honest with you. And again, listening to your gut when it's just there, and I remember there was a voice that came to me and said, Dorly, don't you have enough? Like,
Right. This is
right?
why I'm so happy you found somebody that
Yeah,
aligns with who you are.
that's it. Yeah. Isn't this enough, Dorly? Enough. Like,
The gift.
hello, right? Yeah.
Yeah. See, mommy's taking care of you from beyond. That's
Ah,
what's happening there.
there you go. There you go.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being on this platform. The writer's block can have Dorly Black back anytime she likes, anytime she wants to practice. Maybe you can even host it every now and then if you like to try it and see what it feels like.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh, that
why
would be
not?
great.
You're the
Yeah.
journalist. You're a journalist. You can do this.
Right? There you go. I'm good at asking questions, and the hard questions too.
Yeah, I thought
Yes.
about one time getting as many black female actors in Canada to come up on the screen with us. I can carry about 10 people, I think, at a time,
Oh
and
wow.
just have it, and then engaging them in a conversation of sisterhood, because this industry has us being very competitive. And let's
Yes.
just let's have a moment of camaraderie instead of a
Yes.
moment of competition.
Yeah,
So
I like that. I like that idea. And it's true, the business does
yeah,
do that, put us against each other because
yeah, there's
they
not
just
enough.
want, yeah, because they just want the one of, the one black friend, the
Right.
one black mom, the
Exactly.
one black professional.
Right.
And that's it, right? They met their quota
Right.
for the show, the production, or the episode.
Right. We need to have you become the Diane Carroll of Canada and
Oh
get
my gosh,
that
I would love it.
hearing.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love Diane Cara. She was another one too. Like, oh
I
my gosh,
see
so
this for
beautiful,
you.
graceful.
Yes,
Just
I see it.
love her.
I see it
Love her.
indeed.
Timeless. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, thank you so much for being here on the Writer's Block podcast. Special thanks to my sponsors, TRF Media, and of course, my wine bottle, Thirsty AF. You can pick it up at thisislawade.com. And also, shout out to CH Hot and Wines. Dorly, how can we reach you? Where are you online?
Oh, easy to reach me at Dorly Jean-Louis, my name. So whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's just my name. Nothing fancy, just the name Dorly Jean-Louis, and you'll find me. That's it.
There you go. There you have it. So you can connect with her on Instagram. Who knows? Maybe we'll be seeing her on the big screen a lot sooner than we think and watching our celebration that's coming afterward.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you
Love
all
it.
for watching. You connect with me at This Is Ellie Wade Inc. Or if you want more creative journey, go to the writersblock.podcast. You're more resilient than you realize. So get unblocked and keep it going. We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
You're listening to the Writer's Block podcast with L.A. Wade.
Hi, I'm Dorly Jean-Louis. I'm an actor, model, stylist, and I just got unblocked on the Writer's Block podcast. Stay in it to win it. You got this.